finely tuned, highly polished. Blue Angels perform with machine-like precision. For 6 months, they have honed their skills, crafting a full-throttle demo.
We have to seek perfection in the maneuvers. Simple as that.
But their season is far from over. Selecting next year's team creates a pressure cooker.
Pain is what we have in store. It's going to be long and difficult.
I'm in my box, don't talk to me.
So there's really only one thing I can say to you.
And making the cut is just a start.
You don't even know what you don't know.
This team can't slow down for anyone or anything. Hold on for a wild ride as the Blue Angels bring their season full circle. High noon in July on Pensacola Beach. An excited crowd packs the shore to see an air show. The highlight of a festival called Beach Week. Many came 5 hours early and now broil in the Florida sun. Warm-up acts buzz overhead. Yet nearly everyone awaits the arrival of the hometown team, the Blue Angels.
But this show is the ultimate for us. It's our hometown. The number of people that have come out to the beach, you know, you would think that guys or folks get tired of seeing us practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, but obviously that's not the case. You drive down the street here and there's a Blue Angel flag flying in every house.
Pensacola is Blue Angel country. Fans proudly wear the colors, and some live, breathe, and even drink Blue Angels. After 30 road shows, Beach Week is like a homecoming party for the squadron. But it's also the time when they'll select the members of next year's team. For events coordinator Chandler Seagraves and narrator Justin Otto, a home show comes with a relaxed dress code. But that doesn't mean they can take it easy.
15 seconds, guys.
Hurry. Okay, get ready. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Air Boss.
No matter what the site, the Blue Angels kick off every show in the same rousing fashion.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron takes pleasure performing for you this, our 33rd flight demonstration of
The Blue Angels C-130, nicknamed Fat Albert, roars overhead.
To the right, Major Hempler's approaching to demonstrate the short field takeoff.
Piloted by 3 Marine Corps aviators, this 40-ton behemoth serves as the team's taxi and flying repair shop.
Ladies and gentlemen, directly before you, the Blue Angel C-130.
Ladies and gentlemen, directly before you, the Blue Angel C-130. Fat Albert.
Just miles offshore, it's showtime. Boss Bartlett in Jet Number 1 gives the command. And the squadron appears in the signature Delta formation. For the next 40 minutes, they perform a series of tight formation and high-speed precision maneuvers. During the last 6 months, the pilots have dedicated themselves to perfecting the demanding routine. Now, in choosing the next class of trainees, they'll include 2 new pilots. Lead solo Len Anderson recalls how remote becoming a Blue Angel pilot once seemed to him.
Yeah, Pensacola Beach show. When I was going to through flight school here, I lived on the beach, and I never dreamt or even thought I'd have the possibility to fly one of these airplanes, you know.
For many in the crowd, flying with the Blue Angels is a distant dream. But for one small group of hopefuls, this dream could soon come true.
We got all the finalists that we're going to pick for the 2005 team here going on this week. A lot of events going on, not only during the day with the flying and all that kind of stuff, but during the evenings as well. We got some social functions lined up with them. We got some dinners and stuff like that not only we partake in, but also our spouses. Tomorrow the game faces come on as they come on in for their interviews and look sharp in their uniform, so it'll be fun to see.
From more than 80 applicants, 15 finalists are competing for the last 6 open spots. For each, the first hurdle is a nerve-wracking closed-door interview with the 16 squadron leaders. How well they handle the intense pressure could determine their success or failure. Just once a year, the Blue Angels dress in their khakis to put themselves on an equal footing with the candidates. But that impression lasts only so long.
All right, next victim. Like I told the guys before, we'll just go in, we'll shake Boss's hand, and straight back to the end of the table to your hot seat there. And we'll just fire away in that numbered order for questions, okay? All right, good luck.
Good morning, Ed. How you doing? Come on in.
The pressure cooker is the first day, the interview, where they're, dressed up in their uniforms and they're sitting at the table and we're asking them all the hard-pointed questions.
The whole team is assembled around the room, and we go in order, 1 through 16, and ask them certain questions. And generally, we have each person ask each finalist the same question, just trying to eliminate variables. And, some people respond well in that environment, and some people are very uncomfortable because it's so foreign to them.
You're not sure. I felt like I'm in my box. Don't talk to me.
While some finalists have applied 3 times without making the team, Matt Shortle, or Peawack, is trying for an unprecedented 4th time. Over half the squadron pilots already know Shortle from when they rushed the team, including Craig Olson.
That's it. Thanks. Good luck.
All right, Peawack. How you doing? So you come out of there on Tuesday and you think, I've got this all figured out. I like this one, and this one, and this person didn't do so well, non-player and all that kind of stuff. And so you think you got it figured out, and then you go to a completely different setting in a social environment, and then you find that you meet completely different people.
Good. We having fun yet?
The 15 candidates have traveled from all over the world to be here. They're trying out for a variety of positions, including flight surgeon, supply officer, and pilot. But their most important role will be in public relations.
We're just trying to figure out, do they have the personality skills to do the Blue Angel side of it, the social part of it, and would they be a good representative, of the Navy or Marine Corps?
The following day, the 8 finalists for the 2 pilot positions face a daunting strength test. One at a time, they work with the flight surgeon's staff.
Several years ago, the team decided that they needed a more objective way to measure the strength and the endurance of pilot applicants.
To fly the Blue Jets, the throttle is tightened to 35 pounds of pressure. Finalists must show they can hold and manipulate that weight for half an hour.
It's got kind of a reputation for being very difficult, and we try to put them at ease. Obviously, there's a lot of body language that we see and hear, a lot of shifting around.
This year, all of them passed the white knuckle experience. The Blue Angels and their candidates unwind and have some fun. Or so it seems. Even at a lakeside volleyball game and barbecue with the squadron members and their families, the finalists are still being scrutinized. In many ways, this is the simplest and most important test. Can they fit into the Blue Angel family?
All right, good morning, everybody. Admin.
Yes, sir, boss. Ops? Sometime today, boss.
At last, the finalists get a taste of what it's like to be a Blue Angel. And it isn't all flying. For every hour in the Blue Jet, pilots spend 5 hours in briefings and debriefings. Constant focus is an absolute requirement for team members, on the ground as well as in the air. Even this far into the season, the squadron still works on improving each maneuver and tightening each formation. There's no time to relax.
There is no easy maneuver, and even on the smoothest, glassiest days, you know, the concentration level and the workload is still hard. You know, you never really get a break out there, and if you have a lapse of concentration, it's not usually a good thing.
For the non-pilot team members, concentration and focus are key as well. At the ComCart, they monitor communications, scan the skies for stray planes and sudden shifts in the wind, and grade each pilot's performance. To join the team, candidates must show that they can be trusted in any situation.
We look for the whole package. A big part of it is not only how are they going to interact with the public, but how are they going to interact with us?
People don't come in and fly and try out for the Blue Angels. Your fleet reputation precedes you. You got to be an average to above average pilot. So I can take an average to above average 32-year-old pilot and teach him or her how to fly an airplane, how to do what we do in the Blue Angels. But I can't teach a 32-year-old grown man or woman how to go out there and be a representative, a good person, somebody I want to share a car with for 300 days a year, somebody that I want to fly, 18 inches away from.
As the candidates leave, the team prepares for a marathon session in the ready room.
Tonight's definitely a big night. It's the night that we're going to pick the 2005 Blue Angel team. It was a great week. Had an awesome pool of applicants, and they're going to make our job tough. Tonight will be a long night. I have a feeling we'll probably be there well into the early hours.
That's the one.
Looking casual, the team gathers for some serious business.
I got $40.
We'll take one billet at a time, and we'll go through the candidates. It's easy to start with the billets for which there's only a limited number of applicants or finalists.
10 extra.
Where it's going to be tough is when we get down to the pilot billets, because now you got 8 folks to choose from for 2 slots.
Here's where the gloves come off. Debate over the candidates is brutally frank, with no room for pleasantries. Everything they say is kept in strictest confidence. The vote goes on until the early hours. The following morning, each finalist has a 5-minute slot in which to call the boss.
Blue Angels, Commander Bartlett. Yeah, hey, I won't beat around the bush, man. I'm sorry you weren't selected for 2005. Okay? But really solid performance. It was awesome.
The majority of candidates won't make it on their first try, but many will apply again in the coming seasons.
Talk to you later. Bye.
For 2 pilot candidates, the moment of reckoning has come. The entire team is on hand to deliver the news.
Blue Angels, Commander Bartlett.
Ted Steelman, or Bunza, calls first.
Bunza, how you doing? Good morning.
I'm doing good, sir. Just calling in to check how things are going.
Hey, listen, man, I won't beat around the bush. I know there's only one thing you really want to talk about, and that's whether or not you were selected to the team.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right.
Yeah, okay. Well, the competition was exceptionally stiff this year. Bunza, you're a pretty young guy. Thought you did a really solid job. And, but, we're kind of looking for somebody a little bit taller.
I can totally understand that. I mean, I'm only 5'10".
Yeah. All right. Hey, I really only got one thing to say to you.
Welcome to the team,
Hey, congrats. You're good to go. All right, don't swear anymore. You're on camera, okay? All right, no, you're good. We'll talk to you with details later, but welcome to the team. It's good to have you. Nice job down here. All right, yeah, you too. See ya. Congrats.
The next call comes from Matt Shortle, or Peawack, who's tried and failed to make the team 3 times before.
Hello, Peawack. How you?
Hopefully I'm doing well.
Yeah? Tough bunch of guys out here you're competing with. You know that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, Peawack, I appreciate you showing the enthusiasm and coming out. It must have been a hell of a gut check to come out for a 4th time. I don't think anybody has ever done that before, so I really applaud you for doing that. It really shows that you wanted this bad. All that said, though, there's really only one thing I can say to you.
Welcome to the team,
Oh, my God.
Well, you finally got it right, for God's sakes, man.
We're just tired of seeing you so many times.
Yeah. Hey, you still upright or did you fall down?
I need a minute.
All right, hey, congratulations.
My wife's jumping up and down, so we're excited.
Capitalize.
Happens next. I've never been here.
Yeah. No kid. Don't worry, we'll call you.
You'll call me?
Yeah, we'll call you.
Oh, thanks, sir.
All right, take care. Congrats.
You bet. Bye.
See ya.
With the 2005 team selected and the second half of the season ahead of them, the Blue Angels are flying high. They pack their gear into Fat Albert and set out on a 3-week show tour. First stop, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
See ya, fellas.
Then, a deadly storm strikes, and their season takes a devastating turn. Hurricane Ivan smashes headlong into Pensacola, flooding the streets and unleashing 130-mile-an-hour winds.
The most difficult part was, we were up in Nantucket just watching the Weather Channel and watching the news, and all our families kind of scattered, in every direction.
Following the storm, the damage is overwhelming.
The first thing I saw when I came back Saturday after the storm was all those buildings that were along the water just got tore up by wave and wind damage. You saw some roofs that were completely tore off and wrapped around trees. The boats were just piled like toothpicks on top of each other.
In Ivan's wake, 13 people are dead, 6,000 homes destroyed, and property losses top $5 billion. Around the world, the Navy provides humanitarian relief, but rarely has their work hit closer to home. Fat Albert pitches in, shuttling supplies and ice to Pensacola. Five days after the hurricane, Boss Bartlett gets his first chance to assess the damage. Coming to their community's aid, the Blue Angels put their air show on hold during the recovery effort. It'll be days before Pensacola has power or running water. Boss isn't just the lead Blue Angel pilot. He's also the commander for all 134 people in his unit. And he's responsible for their well-being.
Are you compiling a list of all the people who have housing issues, whose houses are unlivable?
Yes,
Okay.
like
Here at Pensacola, right?
Yes, sir. That's all? Yes, there are 19.
We got
Okay.
schools, they talking about the second week of October. Some schools. And there's we got 6 people that live over there.
Milton area?
Yes, sir.
Well, they're going to have temporary housing
Yes, sir.
here
Yes, sir.
through the week.
Their hangar is too damaged to use for months. Now, Boss Bartlett has to weigh his options. They may have to cancel the rest of the season.
Prep the jets, fly them over there, take care of what we got to take care of.
If they're going to continue, they'll have to change gears and break their established routine. After Hurricane Ivan, the Blue Angels cancel 2 shows and scatter for 2 weeks to be with their families. 3,000 miles away, across the country, they gather again. El Centro, California serves as their winter training base, and Boss decides it's where they'll regroup. The support team is already on the ground when the jets arrive.
Yeah, the jets haven't flown in 2 weeks, so they got to get back up to speed before we do our show up in Salinas. But everybody's motivated to get back on the road and get the show. Luckily, I think we have good weather for a while back there.
Also waiting are the newbies, or new members. Their training starts now, and they join the squadron for the rest of the season. And for the veteran team members, it's like a fresh start as well. Today is the first time many have seen each other since the storm. But behind the smiles lurks a concern. Can they still fly a tight demo together?
2 weeks down is a heck of a long time to not be flying in a demo. It really wouldn't be that big a deal if you're just going up flying by yourself. But the muscle memory for all the maneuvers that we do is critical, and even one day out of the cockpit really can make a difference. Certainly 2 or 3 or 2 weeks makes a huge difference.
Now comes the first test. A practice flight to knock off 2 weeks of rust and awaken their slumbering muscle memory. Boss eases them through the first maneuvers. Gradually, their formation flying instincts return, and they regain their rhythm. On the ground, the newbies are in awe of what they must learn.
You don't even know what you don't know, so you sit there and you try to absorb everything that everybody's saying at all times. You get to know with all the people, so that's initially overwhelming. You try to get to know all the jobs that everybody else does, so that's a lot of information. And then, on top of all that, you're trying to learn what you're going to be doing, too.
Also learning on the job is Commander Stephen Foley. He's the mini-boss, or next year's boss.
Well, I'm taking a lot of notes on what I'm going to be expected to execute. So, got a lot of work cut out for us.
Unlike the other newbies, bosses are appointed by the Pentagon to lead the squadron for a 2-year term. Foley's already flown over 3,000 hours in a tactical jet and commanded his own squadron. But to lead this squadron, Foley will train under more experienced but lower-ranking team members.
It's easy to remember because, you know, if they're looking down at the top of the loop, the evens are going to go that way. 2, 6.
After this first day back, there's a feeling of accomplishment. Practice has gone smoothly. As the week unfolds, the newbies settle in with the team, immersing themselves in the routine. For them, the detour to El Centro is a unique break from what's typically a hectic show schedule. Here, there's time to learn one-on-one from the veterans.
So we'll run through that at the very beginning, and then we'll just jump right into the regular Delta portion of the
All right, good morning, everybody. We're in front of the crowd setting up the head-on.
For the first time, they watch as Boss leads the team through a pre-flight visualization.
More power. Up we go a little more. Easing power. Easing more
visualizing a demo is a lot easier than mastering the real thing.
310, using a little more power. 310.
At the ComCart, the newbies each have their own learning curves to overcome.
What it looks like it's going to happen, he'll tell boss. Okay. To be clear, and then we've had that before. Okay.
Ease it out.
The mini-doc, Tara Johnson, shadows Flight Surgeon Mullen to learn how to evaluate and grade maneuvers.
The show line is running.
The show line is always perpendicular to the direction we're facing.
The learning curve right now is so steep, and we're all down here at the bottom, but like you're watching all these people, and they have this stuff down so cold. While we fish out of water right now, a couple months we'll be back here and we'll be getting it. We'll be part of it.
Nice job, Mini Doc.
When the Blue Angels return to El Centro for winter training, it'll be Mini Boss Foley's team. For now, the newbies find ways to take in as much as possible.
Well, there's a lot to learn. This isn't your normal fighter squadron, and the Mini Boss, Commander Foley, got us together and kind of divided out some tasks. And then we usually meet once or twice a day and just, hey, this is what I learned, this is what we need to do. And we're just all helping each other out. And it's been a somewhat smooth week.
But having a successful week of practices is a lot different from performing in front of a crowd. The Blue Angels fly to Salinas, California for their first show after Hurricane Ivan. This will be Mini Boss Foley's first chance to wear the blue suit and fly with the team.
Specifically for me, provides me an opportunity to see what the boss is going to be looking for his lines out there, flying the show.
Company in Movie Star? I'm done. Let's go fly. Aye, aye.
It does, boss. It's like some clear stuff.
At each show site, a different newbie will get to fly with the team. For this practice, Foley rides in the back seat to get a feel for the boss's in-flight role.
Boss Bartlett has been spending a lot of time with me, and he's got quite a bit of pass down from previous bosses. I've got some notes, I've got some note cards, I've got a narrative text of the show routine that includes all of the maneuvers. And it's going to be critical that I get that stuff, committed to memory, and then once I start getting in the cockpit, I'll start correlating that narrative text to stick and throttle movement in the cockpit.
Three weeks after Hurricane Ivan, the Blue Angels will put on a demo before their first crowd. The pressure is on. With just 2 months left, they need to get their season back on track. From the start, the Blue Angels try to work their magic. At Salinas, the skies are clear, and they opt to do a high show, their most challenging demo. It's a bold way to attempt a comeback.
We went to Salinas, and we were really focused on, okay, we got to come back after a long time of not flying and bear down, basically, and put on some good shows.
To the spectators, it looks like vintage Blue Angels. But the team feels rusty. In the air, they make mistakes in timing and maneuvers, which to them are inexcusable. The same goes for the guys on the ground.
You know, Salinas was a tough show site, and it immediately gets snapped back into, oh yeah, that's right, this isn't that easy.
All the crowd knows, however, is that they just saw one of the greatest flying shows on Earth. To be a Blue Angel, you have to hide your frustration and act as if the last show was the best one you ever flew. behind closed doors, it's another matter. Adding to their frustration, the second show gets canceled because of rain. They won't get a chance to redeem themselves here. Stress is starting to show.
You take 16 type A personalities and you put them in the same ready room, and you put them in a very demanding job where the standards are very high, and we're very open about criticism and accepting criticism and giving criticism. When you put that scenario together, you're going to have conflicts.
Even the newbies get dressed down for talking with family during the show.
As time goes on, we're going to basically start turning it over to you guys. So when you're standing by the jet and we're running that 8-man line for you, you know what it's like. I have family who go far lengths to come visit me, people I haven't seen since the early 90s as well. And it's not your time to sit there and smoke and joke, because we can't sit there and smoke and joke with them. We got a job to do.
When a machine like the Blue Angels derails, it's hard to get it back on track. With Salinas behind them, Fat Albert heads off for the next show site, Hawaii. Like any family on a long road trip, the support crew settles in for a non-stop journey of over 2,000 miles. It's a brief moment of calm in what's been a roller coaster ride of a year. And with just 2 months left, they're hoping to go out on a high. Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii is the farthest from home the team will travel all year. With distance, the Blue Angels have a rare chance to reflect on their hectic season as the end quickly approaches. As soon as they hit the ground, the press is upon them. Some of the veteran pilots are already looking ahead to their return to the fleet.
It's not like this is the pinnacle and this is all the excitement and I'll go back and just be a naval aviator. No, I mean, landing on an aircraft carrier at night is challenging as well, believe me.
Making the transition easier, the newbies are eager to take up the reins.
All these guys are ready to go. They are ready. You know, you got people like Peewalk who's been trying for 4 years to make it here. He's ready to go. It's just the way we work it here.
At the first Hawaii briefing, the veterans continue to bring the newbies on board. Today, it's Matt Shortle's turn to take a seat at the table. For 4 years, he's been waiting for this moment.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Admin.
Yes, your boss.
Started ready to go. All right, K-Bay, Sunday the 10th. Due at 2,000, scattered 28. Broken at 5,000.
It will be Shortle's first experience flying in the demo.
7-jet with Peewalk. Lonnie's in the 5-jet. Merlin, you're in the 4-jet. The spare is 948. Show line is the white plastic. Center point's the white.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to take this opportunity to introduce the 6 pilots you'll be watching perform here this afternoon.
Although beautiful, Kaneohe Bay is one of the most difficult sites on the schedule. Flying straight at a 4,000-foot cliff, the Blue Angels have to navigate an obstacle course during this demo. Yet, for the first time since Hurricane Ivan, all the pieces fall into place.
I've always been impressed with how we come back, basically. And it's really just a testament, I think, to the focus that you put into that flight. We know how to do the maneuvers. We know the procedures. It's focusing on the basics. See the movement, stop the movement, and slowly correct.
It seems the bigger the challenge, the better the Blue Angels perform. For 40 minutes, they perform almost flawlessly.
A lot of it is mental, just picturing what you're going to do, focusing on tempo and timing and cadence. It's consistency, and that's what allows us to fly so tight, and that's what allowed us to jump right back into it.
Success in Hawaii marks a return to form for the team.
From the left, this section high up a back.
Now we've got here in Hawaii, things are starting to come together. I'm starting to get that, you know, we're getting that thing going again where we're starting to fly well together, things are starting to click again, so I'm feeling better about it.
The crew on the ground and the newbies can feel it too.
It's Sean Friday.
They go out to greet the pilots.
Take it over here. Nothing to it, huh? Yeah.
In his flight suit, Shortle already has the swagger of a Blue Angel.
I've been working out trying to drop weight. Yeah, you're doing well. You're doing great. Yeah. It's a good ride. You got to go with Lonnie, or have you yet?
I haven't yet.
Okay, you will. You'll get the next one. Probably. You'll probably get the next one. Because I had one. Monty hasn't had one yet. You'll get one. It's tight. It's good. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you. Yeah. Push it up over there.
The Blue Angels machine is back on track.
Why? Wait.
After 70 shows on the road, the Blue Angels return to their families at Pensacola for homecoming week. These are the final 2 shows of the season. After this weekend, Boss Bartlett will never wear the Blue Angels uniform again.
All right. Nope. Okay. I'll see you there. Yeah. Have a good show. All right. See you afterwards. See you at the jet. Fly a good one.
The weather is perfect for the first show of the weekend. And for the first time all year, the Blue Angels let their hair down. Three pilots are returning for next year's team, and each will take on a new role.
The transitional lead solo, I think, is something that I'm really looking forward to. Not that opposing solo hasn't been a blast. It's been a great year. But it's going to be fun to kind of be out there doing some of the new maneuvers that I'll do as 5, probably 6. And then being able to kind of settle into the training role of teaching a new demo pilot.
It'll be Jerry Darren's job to teach the new team members how to fly, Blue Angel style.
I'm going to have to train P-Walk, new left wingman. He's an experienced guy. He's got a lot of combat time and has a good reputation, but the flying that we do is unlike anything that he's ever done.
Number 2, John Secomundo may face the toughest transition, training Boss Foley.
Well, I kind of look at this as just a halfway point. I've still got a full year ahead of me of winter training, you know, and training the boss. Instead of me being the one trained, it's going to be a little different, but I think it's going to be just as much work.
There's one job that all departing Blue Angels will miss.
What I take away from the Blue Angels is the experiences outside the cockpit, talking to the kids across America.
You bet, champ. You bet. What's your name first? You got to tell me your name.
There's nothing better than standing there at the crowd line and having some little kid with eyes this big, you know, and you smile and shake his hand, and he smiles back, and you go, that was a good exchange. That was worthwhile. That's the best part.
What kind of airplane is that? You know? F-15 Eagle. Wow. They say that's the second best fighter plane in the world.
The best part and some of the best memories has to do with kids that you meet at the crowd line. That's the highlight. And that's why we're the Blue Angels. That is our job. I will miss that.
I'm only just now starting to appreciate how important it is for the exes to come out and watch at a show. You will always have this bond with these folks, so that when you get together, it's going to be something really, really neat. You know, the big handshake and the how you doings and stuff, that's not necessarily the way it is everywhere else. I'm going to miss that. Good afternoon, everybody. Admin.
Yes, sir, boss. We'll brief our last show over Pensacola. Fire pretty good.
All right. Admiral. Good morning, sir. Big wave. Boss. Boss. Surge. Boss. Griff. Ken. Boss.
For the very last time, Commander Bartlett leads the final show briefing.
Oh, Sordo, welcome.
He'll soon join the ranks of ex-bosses.
Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. Over the field, Saturday the 13th.
Tomorrow, Mini-Boss Foley will officially become Squadron Commander, and the departing Blue Angels will rejoin the fleet.
Diamond Solos, Compar Tower, Burt Narrator. Let's have everyone. All right, guys. See you, boss. Have fun out there. All right.
1, 2, 3, get done!
Boss and the 3 pilots aren't the only ones moving on. Frontman Chris Vaughn is leaving as well.
You got it. Come on. Go right.
He's been with the team for 3 years. It's a bittersweet moment. One of many during the final weekend of the season. But spirits stay high.
Okay. Ready to go, boss? All right.
For the first time, I think, since I've been flying with the team, I was actually a little bit nervous. And I could feel, you know, you kind of had the butterflies before you walk down to the airplanes. I think more of that anticipation of not only flying, but because it is the last flight. That all went away, though, as the canopy closes.
I would now like to take this opportunity to introduce the 6 pilots you'll be watching perform this afternoon.
Since 1946, the Blue Angels have been the world's top precision flying team. Each year, they transform individuals into a smooth, well-oiled machine.
We're not famous for who we are. We're famous for what we're a part of. People know the Blue Angels for the flying and for the name and for the reputation. We're not famous people. We're just part of something famous.
1 year earlier, they came together as 134 individuals. Like every squadron before them, they faced challenges that could have split them apart. More than once, their season nearly spun out of control. But nothing, not even Mother Nature, slowed them for long. Through it all, they came together to put on the best show in the sky, where 6 pilots fly as one.
This year, I know it's going to be tough because I don't know what comes next after this tour. I've flown the same airplane every day for the last year and a half, and that's pretty exceptional. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
It's fun. It is fun. And I'm gonna very much miss that.
At their last show in Pensacola, the team brings it home for the final time. Once they land and take off the blue suits, their time as rock stars comes to an end. The parts can be replaced. The pilots and jets change. But the Blue Angels roll on.
Next, explore the high-tech equipment and machinery used in combat that help make a difference on the battlefield. Firepower, coming up next on the Military Channel.